Hi, Matt with eTrailer. If you have a 2024 Mazda CX-30 and you're looking for a set of chains, either for one of two reasons, you're looking for something just for those situations where you have a little bit of snow and you just need that extra help to get through it, or you're just trying to stay legal in your state because it requires you to have chains on hand, then the Glacier Chain Tire Chains are going to be a great option for you. Now today I am going to have this on our front axle is what the manual recommends. And we're going to have this on tire size 215, 55, R18. Now that's just the size we have today. They will fit a variety of other sizes. So if you're not sure if it's going to fit your vehicle, you can actually plug in your vehicle's information and find the right one for you. And again, these are going to be good if you just need a little bit extra help to get you through that kind of lighter snow, because the reason I recommend it for those situations is link style. So these are going to be a low carbon steel roller link. So the low carbon steel is a softer metal. It's also going to provide you more of a smoother ride. Same thing with the roller links. They're going to be able to glide over the surface a little bit better, but still give you a little bit of traction. Maybe not as much as something like a square link, but still enough to get through light snow. And we're going to have this ladder pattern design to them. So with the ladder pattern design, that's going to give you more traction when you're stopping and starting. And one of the most important features about these are the low clearance we have. So these are going to be Class S chains. And when you look back here, we don't have a whole lot of space, and it's even going to be less on the back side of your tire. So having something that is going to be relatively close to your tire is going to go a long way for these. And you'll notice on the front of our tire, or tire chain, we don't have any type of tensioning device on here that comes with your chains. And with our chain sitting that close to your suspension, I'd actually recommend something. Actually have something on hand right now. It's going to be a rubber tensioner. These are perfect because they're going to be able to apply tension as you drive around, so they won't loosen up, because what happens typically is when you're driving around, things are going to shift, and once they shift, they usually loosen up. And if they're that close to your suspension, they could damage something. So just having something like this on hand is going to go a long way. Now, if you don't have any of these, you can actually find these on our website. But they will come with this bag, and they're going to have 2 chains per bag. And this is a pretty light-duty bag. It'll probably stand up to these chains since they are lighter duty. The biggest thing to think about, though, is when you're trying to put these back in, it could be a little bit difficult because a lot of times they're going to pull up a lot of snow, dirt, ice, and they're already kind of springy, so they don't want to fit in here too well. If that is an issue for you, I'd recommend checking out maybe some totes to put your chains in. Just be a little bit easier to store them back in here. Now, in my opinion, I think this is a pretty good option for something for those light-duty occasions, or you're just trying to stay legal in your state. And they're fairly straightforward, and I think that's good too. Now, if you're curious to see what the installation looks like, just stay tuned. We'll walk you through the process. To begin the installation, I recommend grabbing some gloves. It's just going to make it a little bit easier to handle your chains. The next thing we want to do is just lay them out. And this is going to give us an opportunity before we get on the road just to make sure things are going to work right and we know how to put them on. So what I'm looking for to begin with is to make sure these are in the right orientation. And what I mean by that is if you look here, you're going to notice we have this hook that wraps around your cable. You want to make sure the top part of that hook is facing up so it doesn't damage your tire at all. And you're just going to make sure these links are looking good. There's no damages or no nicks. And right now they're looking good. So we can just kind of lift this up now and drape it over the tire. Just like that. And we're really just adjusting our fit at the moment. Once you have this in a relatively good spot, try to center it up and then rearrange the ends so they're a little bit easier when we make our connections. And speaking of those connections, we're going to start doing that now. You're going to grab the one side with those middle blocks and push it through that side with that channel on it right here. Now this might be a little bit tricky since we don't have a lot of space underneath our vehicle, so you're just going to have to take your time with this and try to guide those blocks to that opening. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure you don't get it too tight because it will affect the front side of your fit. You want to try to make sure it's as even as possible, so you might have to go back and forth with these a couple times. Once you have this done, then we can do the same thing on the front side. And here's the front side if you need a better look at it. Again, this is just the same process on either side. You might be able to get one more. Nah, a little bit shy. So I'm just going to come back through and just test this. And this is feeling okay. I just recommend if you are going to drive like this, just check it a few times while you're driving. What's going to give me a lot more peace of mind is going to be this rubber tensioner. Like I said earlier, it's going to take a lot of that slack out of here, give you more peace of mind when you're driving around. And I'd recommend putting it on in a star pattern so it can evenly distribute that tension. And when you're putting these hooks in place, just make sure that it's facing away from your tire, just so it doesn't damage anything. Kind of pull on this again, make sure it's feeling good, and then you can repeat this on the other side. After that, I just recommend either backing up or pulling forward some, just to make sure nothing's shifting too much on you and you still have a good fit. And if you do, you can take it out for a ride. But that was just a look at some of the features and the installation of the Glacier Chain Tire Chains on our 2024 Mazda CX-30. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.